For joining us at this hour, teams of fire rescue units are outside Concourse B at Palm Beach International Airport. As we mentioned, that Southwest 737 jet being checked by hazmat teams. It's 137 passengers bound for Baltimore. They are off the plane, sitting outside on the tarmac near the plane.
We have live team coverage now, beginning with News Channel 5's Ashley Walters. Ashley?
Good evening. Actually, what we can tell is we've been listening to the scanner and we've heard that all tests were negative. We don't know exactly what that means, but we can give you a look here. We've heard that the hazmat crews are actually currently exiting the aircraft, heading back onto the ramp, onto the ground. They've been in there, and from what it sounded like, according to our scanner, their air tanks were maybe running out of air after about 20 minutes of being on board. They did conduct several tests, and that we've heard actually that a flight attendant or two may have come in contact with that suspicious chemical on board that was discovered around 4:04 this afternoon. Now, we know that they were supposed to take off about 4:10, but hazmat crews were called in. They are still on scene, and Palm Beach International Airport has told us that they have grounded this flight until the hazmat crews are completed with their investigation. And of course, that is standard procedure here, but we know that they've been testing several samples. They were wearing breathing masks, the hazmat crews, and they were all suited up, ready to go. So we're going to learn what we can from outside here at the airport, but of course we'll keep you updated on Twitter, Facebook, and online. Back to you.
And Ashley, there's no indication how long it would take, now that they've run these quick tests, how long it would take to get something back that would tell them what we're dealing with?
No, at this point, we have not heard any time frame. And since that flight is grounded, it's unclear if this flight will ever take off this evening. So we'll, of course, keep you updated when we hear more.
Before we let you go, Ashley, what about the passengers and crew? We've been seeing pictures of most of the passengers, 137 of them, sitting on the ground. What is the future for them in the next few hours? Do we know?
It's really unclear. We can only guess at why the passengers have been pulled off the plane and not put back into the terminal, but they are, again, remaining here on the ground outside of the aircraft, waiting for the word on what to do next.
All right, Ashley Walters there at Palm Beach International Airport as we continue to look at those live pictures of the still developing story at PBIA, that 737 Southwest jet. Still on the ground as the hazmat team has been doing some checking on that plane on that suspicious powder.
Right now on the phone with us, our News Channel 5 aviation expert, David Bagelos. David, as you have been watching this, I'm assuming on television as well, give us a summary of what you think is happening.
Yeah, Kelly, yes, it looks like they're following protocol exactly as per post 9/11 procedure requires, and they've sequestered the passengers on the ramp to keep them away in case they have been affected or contaminated by anything. And most importantly, I think one of the things that the viewers are asking right now, what if this happens to me? The really good thing here is the airlines have taken a hugely proactive stance in training flight attendants to look in places. And I heard earlier, it was just a quick snippet, that they found this in a tissue box, and that would have been in the lavatory closed behind a door, which means that they're doing some really thorough checking. That shows you the level of effort that the airlines are going through to avoid a problem. Unlike the TSA, which has been hugely reactionary on so many levels. So this is I think this is a very good litmus test, and hopefully that this substance is not anything other than a harmless powder.
David, would we then assume that the passengers that are on the tarmac and were not brought directly into the terminal, is that there for a precautionary reason in case they were exposed to something?
Yes, that's exactly right. And if they were exposed, they want to keep them sequestered, keep them away from other people, people in the terminal. They don't want them going out and about. So they'll hold them there. Right now, they're under the jurisdiction of the police and the Palm Beach International Airport. So PBSO is going to have control over them right now. And it's probably going to be a couple hours, and I hope that they feed them and water them while they're down there.
David, Jim Sackett, the protocol, let's get back to that. Now, of course, there is the possibility that this suspicious powder is absolutely nothing, but the agencies involved cannot take any chances, and this is what we need to try to get across to viewers, that they cannot unilaterally say, well, nothing's going on. We have to go through this procedure step by step by step.
Jim, you're absolutely right. Imagine if the powder was a psychoactive powder or a contaminant or something that was a transmittable disease, and these people were allowed to leave, the uproar and clamor would be horrific. So it's not just post 9/11. The terrorism aspect is post 9/11, but this is a nationwide, a global health scare. We've had all these problems. Japan had the sarin gas issues. We've had powder that was sent into Washington via the mail. Overreaction probably isn't the right word. This is the appropriate response.
And crew members, like you said, if most likely it was in the lavatory or something like that, that would explain if it were the flight attendants that might have been exposed, that, you know, they might have been, I don't know, checking the bathroom or something before, you know, the plane took off, and that sort of thing might have come in contact with it. I guess there are a number of scenarios at this point.
Well, regardless of what happens, David, this plane is not going anywhere with anyone on it anytime soon, right?
I don't think so. And I think any laboratory in the country is going to take them a few hours to analyze a substance like this. So the airplanes, they'll probably close the door and push it off into the corner somewhere, and when they get an all clear, they'll let the passengers go. They might even put them up for the night somewhere. Who knows? All
right, David Bugelis, News Channel 5's aviation expert, thank you very much for joining us this evening by telephone and sharing your expertise.
My pleasure, Jim. And Kelly, good night.
Thank you very much. You too, David. And on the phone with us right now, we have Chase Scott, a spokesman with West Palm Beach. Chase, anything you'd like to add about this situation that's been going on now for a couple of hours out at PBIA?
Well, Kelly, the latest update is we're still working to determine exactly what type of substance we're dealing with. The 2 crew members that were exposed to this are still on the plane, and the clothing has been removed, and we're suiting them up for decontamination at this time. The remaining passengers are on the Carmack. As you correctly reported, we want to make sure that in the event this is an issue, that we don't spread anything to other passengers or other areas. But right now it's a testing phase.
Yeah, at this point in time, what is going to be done with those passengers? Just leave them there, or is in fact West Palm Beach responsible for them, or is the airline, or who is?
Well, Jim, right now, until we determine exactly what substance we're dealing with, and hopefully it won't end up to be anything that's too alarming, you know, we need to keep everybody in a safe area and together so that we can treat anything that may come our way and to avoid risking additional contamination. But you know, the passengers are being looked after, and right now this is the best place for them to be.
All right, Chase Scott, spokesman for the city of West Palm Beach. Chase, thank you very much. We appreciate it. High above, as she has been for the last couple of hours, is News Channel 5's chopper pilot, Captain Julie. Julie.
Good evening, everybody. We are just watching the washdown stage now as those hazmat crews came off of this airplane. They're using the fire hose, and you can see them there just behind the back of the fire truck. If you can tell, they're in the gray suits. They were the gentlemen that went on board this airplane, and this is just normal procedure, normal protocol that they're following, not just for an airplane, but for any kind of hazmat situation that fire rescue respond to, and they respond to many, so they're well rehearsed at this. I just want to add to the note that Tanya Rogers was saying how that they were in the boarding stages of this 737 when this incident happened, when this flight attendant saw that white A powder in a tissue box. And so some of the, we were counting the 137 passengers on the tarmac. We can just go over to that window there. You can see there's a lot more people there just looking out of the window. There certainly was not 137 people sat out on the tarmac. That makes perfect sense, is what Tanya was saying. They hadn't got everybody on board the airplane, but certainly there are family members that are away from each other right now. But everybody's being taken care of. They've given them some chairs to sit out here on the tarmac. It's starting to get dark now, so it's not quite so hot out there, and I'm sure they're anxiously awaiting to find out whether or not this flight will be able to continue or not. But as David was saying, it's most likely they will push this off over to the side, and so that they can clear this gate for other arriving traffic, and it's most likely this aircraft will remain here at Palm Beach International for tonight. Back to you.
And Julie, that's a good point. Incoming airplanes have not been affected by this, correct?
Not at all, Kelly. No, we're actually listening to the control tower right now, and they're very busy. They're departing off of departing and arriving off of 2 runways here. So this is very close to the runway 14 proximity, but they are using 14 right now to land. And I'm also hearing that all of the flights are getting in and out on time as well.
All right. Thank you very much, Captain Julie, for your bird's eye view for us tonight and the information you've been able to provide. we will continue to monitor this. Again, the hazmat teams have departed the plane, and as soon as we can figure out what they're dealing with, we'll have a much better idea of what's going to happen to the 137 passengers that were supposed to be getting a lot closer to Baltimore right now on Flight 793.
Yeah, their day just changed dramatically a couple
did.
of hours ago.